Hello everyone, my name is Rene. I'm a Kuaiban player in China, and today I show you how to play the instrument. But what actually is Kuaiban? Let's have a look.
Hello, 你好 You hear Kuaiban? These bamboo clappers come from afar. It is traditional Chinese storytelling with text, rhythm and beat, and also acting, similar to rap but different in culture. Founded by Li Runjie and also called 来宝.
So now you know what a Kuaiban performance looks like. For further information, I suggest to have a look into my book, Play Kuaiban, Learn Chinese, My Story. There you can find many details about the instrument itself, the playing techniques, the notation and other information. This video is also designed as a video companion to my book. Before we start, let's do some warm-up and drills. The first one is turn the wrist. In the first step, you need to put your index finger into the gap between the four front pieces and the back piece. What's important is that the red string shows to the right. The thumb is put on the top of the four front pieces, while the middle finger, ring finger and little finger are placed on the back piece of the small clappers. Now you can do the wrist turning exercise with a stretched out index finger. The second exercise is move the thumb. Now let's move on to the big clappers. While the small clappers are the basic rhythm instrument, the big clappers have different functions, as also described in my book. Let's begin with a small exercise called From O to U. We start with grabbing the back piece of the big clappers, the piece without the tassel, and create an O shape with the right hand. The thumb and index finger should be slightly below the string between the two clapper pieces. It's very crucial that the lower end of the hand palm seals the space between the palm and the clappers. We do the same on the other side of the back piece of the clappers. Only the upper end of the hand palm is open and thus creates a resonance chamber and a kind of loudspeaker effect. Next to the O shape, the U shape is the second basic hand posture of the big clappers. The thumb is placed between both pieces of the big clappers, while their string hangs on the thumb. The hand forms a U shape. Let's now move on with the drill and change the hand position from O to U several times. It should be roughly a 45-degree movement. As both postures are frequently switched in the opener and during the performance, it is important that this switch is smooth and fluid. Further hints and tips regarding holding techniques can be found in my book, Now let's move on to the next chapter. Similar to music, a form of notation exists for Kuaiban too. And it is similar to NMN, Numbered Musical Notation System. There's a Chinese saying that goes, if you want to learn playing Kuaiban, you have to learn to sing the beats first. Hence, let's start with singing the beats first. We begin with singing the basic single beats of the small clappers. This is very easy as they only consist of di, da and jia. The small clappers are held vertically. The rear piece of the small clappers hits the four pieces of the front clappers and creates a D sound. As it is the same movement as using a fan, we call it fan. This operation is the same as fan, with the only difference being that the small clappers are held horizontally. The sound is also a D. When the four pieces of the front clappers hit the back piece and create a da sound, we call this throw. This beat is often used as the first beat in the opener. The combination of fan, respectively pull upwards, and throw is called swing. The sound is a strong da D. For the shake beat, we put the thumb below the tassel knot and let all five pieces of the small clappers shake back and forth. Shake has two different versions, one being without stressing one of the single beats, shake beat, and one with stressing the first of four beats, stroll beat. The last basic single beat is when we execute both movements of fan and throw in one single action. The D and the da are put together in one sound. We call this sound jia. These basic single beats are all used during the performance. Let's now combine these basic single beats into beat lines. The following beat lines are the key beat lines. They are single beat line, double beat line, mixed beat line. Let's go through each one individually. Each beat line has 7 to 8 beats. For the notation, I use the abbreviation SC for the small clappers and BC for the big clappers. 0 means a pause. The single beat line is very easy and consists of two versions. We can either use the throw movement and create a da sound, or the fan movement and create a D sound. Da, 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 da. D, 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 D. The second beat line is the double beat line, for which we can use the move the thumb basic technique. Da, digga, da, digga, da, digga, da, digga. When we put the single and double beat lines together, we have the mixed beat line. Da, digga, da, di, da, digga, da, di. Now that we have gone through the small clapper beats, let's have a look at the basic single beats of the big clappers. Again, we first sing them and only then play them. In the first step, we lift up the front piece of the big clappers so that they create a single line with the back piece of the big clappers. Only in a second step we create the first sound, namely a gua. As we are holding the back piece in the O shape, while the clappers are in the lift-up position as described above, we shatter the front piece downwards. In shatter, the front piece stays at its low position as its final status, after having shattered the back piece down. We then repeat the shatter movement as described above, but let the front piece bounce back. After the sound, it rebounds to its original lift-up position. This movement also creates a gua sound. In this step, we change from the O shape to the U shape and raise the front piece in its low-hanging position to the lift-up position as described above first. During the movement, we switch back to the O shape again. Compress creates a T sound. After we have changed from the O shape to the U shape and just slightly beat the front piece with the back piece, so we do not raise the front piece, we create a tie sound. We move the thumb from the one side to the other side of the clappers and close the resonance chamber. We create a hollow sound, which is called bo, by beating the back piece against the front piece. When we now open the resonance chamber again, we create a clear ka sound. We can open the resonance chamber in one of two ways. The first is to raise the thumb, and the second is to move the middle ring and small fingers away from the back piece of the clappers. In the lift-up position, we fix the back piece and the front piece with the thumb and the index finger. In this position, we can now hit the top of the small clappers and create a da sound. Furthermore, we can also scrape the top of the small clappers from the first to the last of the 5 pieces of the small clappers. This creates a T sound. When we hold the big clappers horizontally in the O shape and press the front piece with the thumb and the middle finger towards the back piece, we create a qua sound. This technique is mainly used during performance and less during the opener. Last but not least, can we create a pa sound by throwing either the front piece against the back piece, forehand, or the back piece against the front piece, backhand, in a quick movement. This technique is only used during performance. After we have learned the single basic beats of both clappers, we can now start to combine the small clappers and the big clappers. Similar to other instruments, this will require some effort to coordinate both hands. Let's start with some easy musical figures, which we can also later use for the official openers. T, di, di, qua, di, di, qua. T, di, di, qua, di, qua, di, di, qua. T, 特地地呱哒特地地呱。太太地太地太太地。加打加踢加打加踢。加打加踢翻挑加装加。呱唧呱唧呱唧呱唧。波滴卡滴波滴卡滴。In Kuaiban, there are three main schools: the Li school, the Gao school, and the Wang school. They are differentiated in terms of the opener, the playing techniques, and the performing style. Let's start with the Li school. The above three openers are all written with a single beat line. They are very simple versions for beginners. After you have become familiar with these lines, you can start to exchange them with a double beat line and also include the mixed beat line into your playing. Experiment a little with what suits you best. The composition of the different lines is flexible and can be changed. Find your own way and have fun. There are many more ways and beats to play the instrument. Kuaiban players have been very creative in inventing new techniques.